To the cloud. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Jill.
Today I'm going to interview Carla from the Carla Project. She is a world famous YouTube star where she does all sorts of cool things like decluttering mostly. She also has a decluttering boot camp that is awesome that I just finished. But I wanted to talk to you today about just your kind of like living a dream life. I mean, as far as like things that you're doing and your career. And I think you have a really interesting journey, and I wanted to talk to you about it because I think it would be really helpful for other people to hear about what's possible and like how it was for you, and all the ups and downs and stuff like that, and how you arrived here at being a fully functioning YouTube person that's like making a living off of making YouTube videos, which is so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. What a great introduction. I really like the world famous part.
You are. I mean, it's not a lie.
I guess on a small scale. I do have
Yeah.
people asking me all over the world. So
Well, even in your boot camp I know you had people from, it was a really multinational group.
I know every time we had our decluttering sessions, there were, I think, 5 different time zones happening. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So tell me about a little bit about your journey to get here, or if you want to add anything else about like what you're doing now so that, you can get a more like rounded description of it. I'm sure you know more than I do about what you do.
I mean, right now I would consider myself basically as a content creator, and I'm in the process of growing a lifestyle brand around the Carla Project, which is all about simplifying your life, making it beautiful, living authentically, and what that is like as you go through this process of decluttering and discarding things that no longer serve you in your home and your life. And when we do that, we start to find more of our purpose and our passion, and all these other things start to get uncovered. So yeah, basically I'm a content creator, and that's what I'm doing.
Awesome. Yeah. I love your approach to it too, about like making room for what you want when you let go of things that aren't serving you, and all the clutter that's just like piled up, and how it's like the energetic aspect of it as well.
Yeah, because it's fun. I love the decluttering and organizing aspect of it. Like that's so much fun for me. But just the way that this is all unfolded, I can see there's so much more to it. It really is. There's something to making space and like getting old things out so that new things can flow in. And I feel like even what I'm doing now is evident of that whole process, that it really works. Once we get things moving in our physical space, things start to move just energetically and in our lives.
Yeah, totally. And like, I know for me, I can tell like instantly when I remove things from a room or whatever, that like I just start to feel better, feel like a little calmer, and just shift. I mean, even like before having you, like you can just instantly see it. It's not like you have to believe it to see it, even. It's just like do it, and then it's like notice how you feel.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so awesome. So tell me a little bit about your journey. Like, how did you get started? Tell me about like where, what you were doing before this, or like any other things that you explored, and just like how you ended up here, because this is such a like, and I know like, you're always growing and everything, but it's like, really, this is like such a dream for so many people, and like how you ended up here. Like, did you just know you, I mean, I know your story, but
Yeah,
like
I know a lot
share.
of the behind the
Yeah.
scenes, but I mean, well, let's see. I met you maybe 8 years ago, something like that. Maybe
I
longer.
think Yeah, I think it was in 2014, actually.
Okay, so almost 9 years ago. And at that point, I had just started my first online business, which was doing consulting for female entrepreneurs. And I was doing a lot of practical and tactical things like creating sales funnels, which are like websites that sell products and services. And I started that business. I liked designing the website. I liked organizing action plans for people to take action in their business. I liked motivating people to do those kinds of things. So there were a lot of pieces of that business that I loved. But what I really wanted when I started, it was a business called Her Business Boutique. I really wanted to have a lifestyle brand, and I really wanted to do YouTube videos and just have a beautiful website and a blog and make things pretty and get paid to be myself. That's what I really wanted to do. And I just thought that was impossible. I don't even think there was really an influencer term at that time, because there wasn't even an Instagram. If there was, maybe it was just starting. And even making money as a YouTuber, it just seemed like something reserved for people who had like millions of people following them or something. I just didn't think it was possible. So I thought, okay, this business is a business I believe in. I believe I can start this kind of business and help people. So I'm going to start here. And I did that, and it was very uphill. And I had that business for the last, 9 years. And then in 2021, going into that time, really all of 2020, I was pretty lost because I knew I wanted to shift away from doing that kind of work and switch over to something new, but I didn't know what that was. I consciously didn't know what it was because I just thought it was impossible to do what I'm doing right now. And I was really struggling with trying to find purpose in my life because I just felt every morning I was waking up like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing? I have no reason to be getting up, and like, I don't have a passion. I don't have anything I'm pursuing. I have no goal. It was just very like barren wasteland for a good year. And then slowly I started to get a few ideas of inklings of things that I might like to try. And I started with a blog and eventually started my YouTube channel. So it's been a windy road, but yeah, that's some of the backstory.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah. I remember when, I want to talk about a little bit about that, because like when you were looking for what you wanted to do, and then you were thinking, okay, I could start a blog. I think it's like that it didn't end up being what you went for, but that was like your sort of like, I was thinking about that today with people that are looking for their passion, like they usually have some idea of what it is, like even if they're denying themselves that, like they can't find a way to make it work, or they're like overthinking it or whatever. But it's like, if it's like you go towards the corner and you can't really see what it is that it's around the corner, but you have to kind of like go in that direction, and maybe it ends up being the thing, and maybe it ends up being like a side, like beside the thing. So you went to blogging, and then you found YouTubing, which was more of your group, which you enjoy doing more. And you have a blog too, but YouTube is like your main thing.
Yeah.
So just like going towards that blog helped you to find like your real groove.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I remember I had a session with you. I'd had a couple sessions with you. I'd had coaching sessions with you. I'd had Reiki sessions with you over the years, trying to kind of pinpoint this thing that I wanted to do or wanted to create. And I remember when I was watching some random TV show one night, and the idea, this name, the Carla Project, came to me, and I thought, I'm just going to make my life's projects, like me I'm into personal growth and personal development. I want to clean up my home. I want to get in shape, like all these projects that I want to do in my life. I'm going to document it, and I'll put it on a blog. And I looked at my about page, maybe in the last week or two, for my blog when I started it. And I wrote down all of these things that I wanted to, all these different projects. And I said, I want to declutter my home. I want to get really organized. I want to live in a clutter-free space. Still not really realizing like all the pieces kind of were coming together without me realizing what was happening. But at the very last thing that I put, I said, I want to travel. I want to go to Europe for an extended period of time. You know, I want to like get in great shape, and and I want to start a YouTube channel. That was the last thing I wrote after a list of like 10 things. I said, oh, and I want to start a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've done so much of this list. Like so much of this list is what I'm actively doing right now. And the YouTube thing, I feel like I started as a fluke. Like I didn't really know what I was doing, and I had nothing, no vested like interest in it. I just was doing it just for fun. I thought I was going to make all my money from the blog. I was like, I'm going to start this blog. I bought a course on how to blog and how to make money from it, and this is what I'm going to do. And, you know, then I just thought, oh, I'll start making YouTube videos because it'll be fun. It'll maybe help grow the blog. And then the YouTube thing, which has been the easiest thing I've ever done, ended up being the thing that really took off and grew, and is now like, I make more money doing the YouTube thing than I ever made from my business, than I have ever made from blogging. It's just like funny how that actually works out.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy because I am getting paid to be myself. Like I can show up on videos, no makeup, no hair done. My apartment is messy. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to have it together. I'm not like a thought leader. I get to just show up and be in process of my life and be like, okay, here's what I'm working on this week. I'm trying to make my kitchen look nicer, or I'm, you know, starting these healthy habits. I just started a workout routine, and I'm just sharing my life, but by sharing it, it's helping other people who are wanting to do the same things. And it's like, I don't know. That's amazing. It's like me living my life is somehow actually inspiring and helping people wanting to do these things in their lives. And I get messages every day where they're telling me this. And I'm like, this is crazy, because it's like a win-win-win situation. Like I need to do these things in my life. I'm going to make a video on my iPhone. Like I'm shooting on my iPhone, putting it together, you know, just sharing it. And then it's amazing.
Yeah. And that's what that's what, like what the comments people say about you. And what's so enjoyable about watching your videos is like, it's so real, and you're so like calm and not over the top. It's just like, you're not performing, and you're just like so real. And people are like, oh, okay, it's just refreshing. And I hear like, I've seen people say that about your videos too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, just not pretentious, not like, you know, just like the typical things that someone might think that they need to be like you know, a YouTube star or whatever, if you
Right.
want to call it that. Like yours
Yeah.
is very real, and it really connects with people. And yeah, you're just doing your thing. And
I really do. That's what I mean. I really do get paid to be myself, because I don't have to pretend anything. And even this last few months where I have felt like I was kind of going into a little bit of a funk, and I was just having just like going through life things. Like it wasn't an up, it was a down. It was a down period. And I just made videos about that. It was like videos about cleaning your house when you're unmotivated or sick or depressed, or, you know, how to get yourself out of a funk. Like I got to still show up, even though, you know, this is how I was really feeling. And it's really, I feel like with YouTube, it's like you actually, the more you can just be yourself, the more people will want to follow you. Like actually don't just being yourself is the, you know, like leaning into that is the way to kind of like grow on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that probably makes it easier to show up too when you're not feeling like, you know, you're not feeling all the sunshine. You can still
Yeah.
show up because you've already decided that you're going to show up for
Yeah.
real.
It's still scary, because sometimes I think like, you know, I think a lot of us have those thoughts where I think I don't want to spread downness or negativity. I just, you know, but then I just think, okay, maybe someone else can relate. And also it's vulnerable to share too. It's like, oh, I don't want people to see my house looking like this, or when I'm feeling like, oh, but I was like, oh, just share it. And some of those have been like the most popular videos. So
Yeah.
I don't know if people just like to see someone who's sad, or if people can relate, maybe it's both.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what I mean, for a long time, it was like everybody online was just like, yeah, my life's perfect and everything's great, and I think people felt bad because they couldn't measure up to that, so it's
Yeah.
nice to see the full spectrum of
Yeah.
being human.
I didn't think about that. That is, yeah, very good point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So has it been like what's your, so just to show the full spectrum too of life, like you think, oh, I'm living my dream, I'm doing everything that I want, like how is it, like is it
Yeah.
always amazing, or is there like
It's really,
is it
it's
still
very
life?
interesting. The brain is so interesting because, okay, when I started my channel, right, I had I had like a hope. I was like, okay, I'm getting maybe 2 to 5 subscribers a day. Like first it was, I think I didn't really tell anyone except for close friends. I told you, I told maybe like 5 other close friends that I started this channel. No one was watching the video. So it was like, oh my gosh, I have 5 subscribers. Okay, I have 7 subscribers today. And I thought, okay, at this rate, if I can get 3 a day, I might be able to get 1,000 subscribers in a year. And like if I get 1,000 in a year, and once you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can get in the partner program. So I was like, oh my God, 25 subscribers. And that was so big to me. And then when I got 100 subscribers, it was so huge. And what's interesting is how quickly the mind can acclimate to what was once seen as such a big deal. Now I'm getting close to 50,000 subscribers, and I'm like, okay, got 100 today. Like, okay, that's okay. Like, I really want a video to take off so I can get to that 100. Now I'm thinking like what was so big is so like small now that
Yeah.
you start to take for granted the thing that at one point was so astronomical. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine making $1,000 a month from this. I was like, how would I ever make $1,000 from doing YouTube? Like I would have this many views and this many videos a week. It just seemed impossible. And now that's just a guarantee. Now I'm onto the next big goal. So you start to normalize every level you reach, you normalize it to the point where it doesn't seem like a big deal, that you're just chasing the next big thing in a way. So I always have to remind myself like, oh, no. Remember, this was a dream and you didn't even think this was possible. Because right now I'm thinking of things that I'm like, God, doesn't seem possible to have this size of an audience, or to make this amount, or to have enough where I could, move, living in Los Angeles, and like maybe, and being single and buying a house, like all these other dreams that I have now that I think, I don't know how I'm going to make that happen, but it's like, oh no, you didn't think you could even make this happen. You're now doing this full time, supporting yourself, living your life. Like things are possible.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. I think that if anything is like probably the most interesting thing to me that I've noticed my mind doing is
Yeah. I know. It's like it's like you're never at the point where you thought you would be. It's always like, what's the next? And what's the next? And what's the next? And you're always like looking to the next thing. And then like, you have to really pause. Like I talk to a lot of my clients about this, where it's like, just notice where you are, because we're a year ago, you were, wanting to be here, or you would have been like, no way, I could get there. It just seemed so far off. And then it's like, we don't take that time to acknowledge how far we've come and where we are. Then it's like, it's just, you can't find the joy in what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. And I had years before where I could look back on a year and feel like nothing had happened. I really had those years where it was like, but look where you've come from. And it's like, nothing happened this year. It feels like there was no movement. So I can just say I've had all kinds of different experiences on this path. It's not like, it feels like, oh, because once I started my channel, things grew pretty quickly. But this is also like years in the making leading up to this moment of things like now popping off. But I've had a lot of years where I was just stuck or things were not unfolding like I thought they would or wanted them to. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also like our minds to our brains tend to tell us like things aren't changing, like we're in the same place,
Yeah.
but because it'll look for the problems, it'll look for the
Yeah.
things that haven't changed, especially if that's like the message that there's kind of like a repeating pattern.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like, I'm still the same, and it'll find all the things that are the same, but really like we're always different. Like we've always moved forward, even if we're not like doing the thing that we're dreaming about, like we're getting closer to it. Like we're finding that evolution, right?
Yes. So even when you think things aren't moving or think things aren't changing, it's like something's working in the background. It's kind of like you're at the show at the theater and the curtains are closed and you're just waiting for the show to start, and you don't know that behind that curtain, everyone's moving around, moving furniture, the actors are getting ready. You don't see all that stuff. You just waiting for the curtain to open and it's like, oh, now the show starts. But it's like there's all this stuff happening behind the scenes that you're not even aware of. So it might not look like things are moving. It really might not look like things are moving. Sometimes it really does seem like that. And maybe that is probably part of my messaging too, is like thinking or just wanting things to change big time overnight. I'm really like either impatient or I just want huge changes, I think
Yeah.
that's part of it. Is for me, it's just like, I don't know. I'm like, I want to end up on the moon. I just think things are going to look so drastically different overnight. But just knowing that, okay, even if it looks like things aren't changing, things are happening behind the scenes. And then like an idea comes and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to start with this. And then you start and then something else happens. It's just like things start to move.
Yeah, totally. And that reminds me of like the exponential growth, it's like, we always talk about that. Like,
Favorite thing.
yeah, it is my favorite. It's like, oh, I only have this many more, like I got to, this many more, in your case, like 10 subscribers or whatever this week. Like, how am I ever gonna make it to 50,000 or whatever? And it's like exponential growth. You just keep going. And then like, so let me just explain exponential growth in case people on here aren't bankers like myself.
Please explain, because I think I still need to understand it.
It's where like your growth just keeps, it's like, okay, when you basically, let me try to explain it not in banking terms. Where you okay, I will explain it in banking terms actually. So you make an investment, right? And then you get you make money on that investment, and then you just take that money and you reinvest what you made plus the investments that you already had in there. So to explain it in terms of like, say, growing your subscribers or growing your followers or growing your progress in anything, it's like when you grow, like, first of all, you got 2 subscribers, and then you had 4 subscribers, but then you had like 6 more subscribers. And then it started becoming like 12 more subscribers. And then the numbers just keep getting bigger as you go along, not always linearly, but
Right.
but it's like, as you show up every day,
Yeah.
and or whatever, every week or whatever,
Yeah.
then it just keeps like building on itself. Basically, that's it. Growth builds on itself.
Yeah.
That's in simple terms.
That is that's like a quote right there. Growth builds on itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like stacking
Yeah.
on top. Yeah. To get higher and higher. And then it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
more. Okay. Yeah. We'll just leave it at the first one.
Builds on itself.
Yeah, but sometimes, but it's really, I think it's difficult at the beginning. And I know I've experienced this too, like putting stuff out, like doing marketing or whatever, just like showing up online. And it's like, you show up and then it's like, okay, like not much is happening. And it's so easy to quit in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the beginning is the hardest
Yeah. Oh
part,
yeah.
because you're not seeing any results yet.
At all. Yeah. Like I'd say my first 8 videos, 10 views, 20 views, like 50 views maybe. And it was probably me clicking refresh, like watching, like get that number up a little higher. So, but because I was doing it for the fun of it, I didn't really have expectations. I kind of just went into it blindly. So that I think that was a great benefit for me because I'm someone who can be over analytical and like research things to death. I just starting it and not really knowing what to expect helped me a lot because I think I thought you just put a video out and people will watch it. I thought that's how YouTube worked. And then when I saw, I was like, oh wait, no one's watching this. Like, how do I get people to watch it? So the first few months I was just like joining Facebook groups thinking, how do I get people to watch my stuff? What are you guys doing? And everyone's asking each other, how do you get people? It's like, you just keep making videos, and something will happen eventually. Like the algorithm picks things up and like, it figures out what you're doing. And then you just kind of follow this whole trail. You learn as you go. Like I learned as I went, but yeah, nothing was happening at all in the beginning, but I'm glad actually, because it allowed me to make some videos and experiment with things that if my first video I don't think I would have known what to do after that. I would have felt too much pressure to maybe make that kind of video. The first video I made was about my hair extensions. Can you imagine if my whole channel was about hair extensions? I mean, I could certainly talk about that for a long time, but we have hair chronicles going on, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it took a while. Like it didn't take long, but it did take some time.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we were talking about that the other day about how like, if your first like few videos, if you had just gotten like instant success,
Yeah.
like how much pressure that would have been. And like, sometimes it's good to be in the slow game because you get to grow and like experiment and fail, and you don't have all the people like coming at you and all the eyes on you, and you get to like really grow into your success instead of like what we think we want to happen, which is like just put something out there and then like 100,000 people see it. But there's a lot of like good and bad that comes with so many people's eyes on you. Everybody's got opinions and they want to give you advice or just say mean shit or whatever.
Yeah, that's all part of it for sure.
Yeah.
But the good outweighs the bad with that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think I'm glad that it's been at this pace. Although now I'm kind of wanting it to exponentially grow more. Like that will be great if that happens. I'm okay with either one, actually. I'm like, I can see if it just keeps going slow and steady, I can see the benefits of that for myself. And then if it pops off, I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely had plenty of time to to settle into fame and fortune.
I'm like, bring it on.
Yeah. Let me see. I think there was something else I wanted to ask you. I have a little list here. One more thing was there was a couple of things. So one was, I'll just ask you this one, or I want to talk a little bit about this, with the monetization as a block. Like, I remember when you were figuring out what you were wanting to do, and it was like, well, how can I monetize this? Because you were looking for a new career path, and it was like, this is what I really want to do, but how can I monetize it? And like, how that like letting go of that was, how you were able to do it and monetize it.
I know that was a huge block. I'm trying to think what that is about, because again, it's like a mind game in a way, because my mind was so blocked to seeing how I could make money doing exactly what I want to do. And it still comes up with me now. It's so funny because like, as I see a lot of coaches making a lot of money, like I was in the coaching industry and now I see a lot of coaches making a lot of money. And I think I should be doing coaching. I should be doing coaching. If I were doing coaching, I could be making a lot of money. I'd be making so much money as a coach. People are making tens of millions of dollars as coaches. And then when I was a coach, I was like, there's too many coaches. There's too many coaches. No one's making money as a coach. Like, it's just the mind wanting to find a block so that it can stay safe, so that I don't have to take action and move forward on this thing that I don't know what's going to happen. It's like the fear of the unknown. So it's like, oh, how am I going to make money from this? You can't make money from YouTube. How am I going to make money from wanting to do like lifestyle content? No one's going to pay me. Who am I to make lifestyle content? Like I'm not, I don't have a big house. I don't have like a husband, accessory, and children. Like I have nothing. It's me and my dog in my little apartment, and I'm messy. And I just thought, like, who is going to watch this as lifestyle content? And I was very wrong, but that was just like a block to keep me from taking action. And then when I let go of just trying to make money from it, and I just did it for my own personal growth, I guess, just to kind of like have some accountability for my own life that I was just trying to improve. And, because yeah, I wanted to make a home and make things beautiful. And I was like, I'll just do it for myself and document it. That thought was what allowed me to just do it without needing anything from it. And then, yeah, everything came out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's hard to think about how to monetize something new. Like especially if it's something like something creative, it's, that's like, if you can't really figure it out from before you start.
Yeah. And if it's something that you hear people saying like, it's hard, or it's impossible, or no one does that. Very few people do that. All people like love to share those kind of statistics. You just hear it all the time.
Mhm.
Like it's such an impossibility or something to do whatever, fill in the blank, whatever thing. It's too saturated. There's too many people, there's whatever. And you just hear that. So you just immediately agree and think like, yeah, how am I going to make money from this?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's plenty of naysayers and lots of people like trying to crush dreams or just like keep people safe, whatever. And it's like, that's why it's so great to see people that can expand what you believe is possible, because if you want to do something, I think it's really like a nudge from your soul that that it's like what you're, here to do, or part of what you're here to do, or whatever,
I agree. Yeah. And it's like following those nudges that something's calling you, and it can be a windy road and a windy path to getting, there. Who knows where this is even leading me? Could be leading me to something more. I don't know. I'm very happy right now with what I'm doing. I feel like the most fulfilled and most satisfied, and like I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. But I've had so many different, I was a musician and I chased that for many, many years and didn't have the success that I wanted with that. And then even with my business, I did that for many years, and it allowed me to get out of waiting tables and being a musician, and allowed me to have like freedom, but not, I didn't love it. I wasn't happy doing it the way that I'm really feeling very 100% in alignment and on purpose with what I'm doing now, completely. So yeah, so it's been a windy road, but I was always following something was calling me. Oh my gosh, I used to sell jewelry too for a multi-level marketing company. But what I loved about it was the design aspect, and we'd get together to throw these parties. You'd throw these parties where people would come together and you could show them jewelry. I just like making things pretty, and I like sharing it with people. So there were pieces of all of these different things. Being a musician, like getting to perform, I like getting to so I'm getting all the pieces of things I liked all together in what I'm doing now, so it's like everything is kind of preparing me in a way for what I'm doing now. And my previous business is helping me grow this, so that I'm not only a YouTuber, I'm really creating a whole business around it. And that's because I know what to do for my other business. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So like all this stuff was just like your schooling leading up to this. It's all like become a part of your business, or the building blocks of your success and what you're doing. Yeah. Very cool. So what's up next for you? What are you working on? And do you want to share anything for people to check out?
I have my clutter-free boot camp, and I just finished the first round of it, and you were in there, and it was really fun.
Highly recommend. Yes.
I'm working on launching that again this year and running it again live. And that's going to be kind of my baby for now, to grow that. And then I'm working on my first book, which I'm going to be publishing on Amazon. I'm making headway. So I think it'll be out. I don't know how long it takes to launch a book. So I think it'll be out within the next like 3 to 6 months. So for sure this year, that's a big project I'm
Nice.
working on. And what else? Yeah, and more videos. Yeah, just living my life and sharing it and enjoying it. And yeah, I think those are the main things I'm excited about: Clutter-Free Bootcamp and writing the book, and just continuing to make content. Yeah, I'm going to be making over my living room area and making some changes in my home. So excited about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Nice. And you're at the Carla Project.
Yes, thecarlaproject.com, the Carla Project on YouTube, the Carla Project on Instagram, the Carla Project LA on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then, you know, your co-star Samson is
Yes,
on there
he's
too.
the real star. He's the real
Yeah.
star. Yes. He lets me live here and pay all the bills.
Yeah. Samson is America's sweetheart. In case you haven't seen him, he's in dog form, and
Yes.
he is a local celebrity, actually international now.
The
So
international. Totally.
yeah.
It's a superstar and he knows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been so fun talking to you
good.
and learning more about your journey. It's really cool to see.
For having me, Jill, and thank you for supporting me and helping me so many times on this journey, because a lot of the work that we did together helped me even remove these blocks that I had where I couldn't see. Like, that's why it was so helpful having you on the outside. Like, maybe just try this, maybe just try that. So thank you. Yeah, and thanks for
You're
having me.
welcome. Thank you. All right. We're going to close this out. Okay.
Hi, guys. Bye.
Bye.